This is the overview video of AP Computer Science. Hi, my name is Suin Kim, and I'll be teaching APCS this year as well. While I have been teaching programming for quite a bit now, my most recent notable profession was a robotics engineer at a startup company that I co-founded a few years ago. Coding was an integral part of my job as an engineer, but nowadays, especially with the emergence of artificial intelligence and the fourth industrial revolution, students are now required to know how to program, or at least learn how to read code in any major or field in the future. This class, for the most part, will follow a program developed by Microsoft for professional use based off a college course at the University of Washington with this textbook, Building Java Programs. As with all AP exams, it is originally meant for a full high school year, but this will be shortened into a 3-hour per week session for ideally 30 classes, depending on the student's capabilities. Now, this can be longer or shorter depending on whether the students are able to keep up or not. And I understand that some AP classes are taught in less time, but the difference between programming and other more theory-based classes like calculus or AP Bio, for example, is that in programming, the students need to learn how to comprehend programming logic, especially if this is their first time learning how to code. Now, programming logic is solving problems with coding syntax based off a logical decision tree. This is why the class is review intensive, and there's a lot of hands-on programming sessions for each of the classes, which takes up bulk of the time. Instead of learning and memorizing just the concepts, students will be asked to solve the problems on their own, hopefully to retain this knowledge even after the class is over. Now, the students in this class will be working with the Eclipse IDE. Now, the Eclipse IDE looks like this, and this is the representative development tool for Java, which will be the programming language covered in this class. Now, students will be able to code like this for themselves. This particular code snippet was a practice problem solved by a student on the topic of scanner input and for loops. Now, if we have the user input certain commands, the program will output a certain shape depending on the code. Now, there are 8 official units ranging from basic introductions to advanced topics like inheritance and algorithms covered in the AP Computer Science exam, as each of these have different weights in the exam, as seen here. They'll be covered in different lengths with focus on the vital concepts only. And in the final 2 months, usually starting from March or the final 7 or 8 classes, will be dedicated towards solving past exam problems. And this will be ending with the AP mock exam, which we will be taking from the Barron's book. Now, students will have been reviewing with actual multiple choice and FRQ questions almost every class leading up to this point. So the objective of these classes at the end will just be a switch from learning how to solve it correctly to learning how to effectively solve the questions under the time limit. So the goal of this class is to extensively prepare for the students for the AP exam on May, and to allow them to be ready for future coding experiences in college. Now, that will be all for the class overview, and thank you for your time.